When the movement stops, something ancient begins to stir. Not in the world around you, but in the space between moments, in the silence that has been waiting for your attention since before time began. Right now, as you pause, reality itself leans closer to listen. You have been taught that progress requires motion, that life advances through constant doing. But the truth whispered by the universe is that stillness is not the absence of movement, it is the origin of it. Every vibration, every frequency, every timeline emerges from the infinite calm you are touching in this exact breath. As you stop, the noise of ordinary perception begins to fade. Beneath it, subtler layers of reality reveal themselves. Colors breathe differently. Sound turns into texture. Time loosens its linear grip and begins to ripple like light on water. You start to feel, not think, that reality is alive, responsive, aware of you. This is the threshold most never cross, the realization that existence rearranges itself in direct dialogue with your awareness. When you cease to chase the next moment, the moment begins to chase you. The universe reorganizes around your stillness because stillness is its native language. Feel the subtle tremor beneath your skin. That is not your heartbeat. It is the field adjusting to your pause. Every atom near you recalibrates to the frequency of your presence. Every probability waiting in the quantum sea senses that you have stopped running and are finally ready to be met. You are not withdrawing from life, you are entering it fully for the first time. Stillness is not escape. It is alignment. It is not surrender. It is participation at the deepest level. And as you rest in this moment, awareness expands without effort. The universe breathes through you, not metaphorically but literally, as consciousness recognizing itself in form. The moment you stop moving, reality begins to move around you. What once seemed solid becomes fluid. What once felt distant begins to lean in. Stillness does not freeze the world, it awakens it. Your silence becomes a signal that tells existence you are finally ready to perceive its true design. The field responds instantly, although not always in ways the logical mind can measure. You notice subtle coincidences forming gentle patterns. People you have not thought of in years suddenly reach out. Objects appear where you had just imagined them. Technology behaves in rhythm with your emotions. This is not random. It is feedback from the unified field, showing you that awareness itself is the architect of experience. When you are still, your energy stops scattering into countless directions. It gathers, becomes coherent, begins to sing a single tone that the universe recognizes as your unique frequency. In this coherence, reality aligns itself to match your vibration. Circumstances reorganize, conversations shift, and possibilities that once seemed impossible become effortless. The mind struggles to believe this because it was trained to see reality as separate. But stillness removes that illusion. You start to sense that every thought is a wave, every feeling a pulse, every breath a code exchanged with the quantum field. Life begins to communicate with you through synchronicity rather than logic. The more you rest in stillness, the clearer that communication becomes. There is a living intelligence behind every coincidence. Each event, each meeting, each delay is a reflection of your internal frequency projected into the outer world. You are not observing reality, you are participating in its creation. Your stillness is not passive. It is the most active state the universe knows. From this quiet center, new timelines unfold like petals responding to light. So when nothing seems to be happening, remember that everything is happening. The field is listening. It is rearranging itself according to the purity of your presence. Every pause you take allows existence to exhale through you. Every breath you release becomes a bridge between thought and manifestation. This is how reality responds to consciousness that has finally learned to be still. As you rest in stillness, awareness begins to expand in ways the mind cannot predict. What you once called inside and outside starts to dissolve. The boundary between observer and observed softens until perception becomes a single, luminous field. You are no longer a person looking at the world. You are the world remembering itself through the eyes of a person. In this expansion, you start to sense layers of reality that were always present but hidden beneath constant movement. Colors appear to glow from within. Sounds reveal textures that carry emotion. Time bends gently, stretching and folding around your attention. Moments overlap, and you realize that past and future are not separate corridors, but simultaneous frequencies vibrating in the same eternal now. Awareness expands not because you reach outward, but because you stop contracting inward. Your consciousness unfolds naturally, like light filling a darkened room. You feel connected to every breath of wind, every heartbeat of life, every pattern of starlight that flickers across infinity. There is no effort in this connection. It is simply the recognition of what has always been true. In this state, guidance arises spontaneously. You begin to know without thinking, to see without looking, to understand without analysis. The universe communicates through intuition, image, and resonance. Answers arrive before questions form. Paths open before you choose them. This is not imagination. It is consciousness synchronizing with the deeper intelligence that governs all existence. As awareness expands, fear dissolves. You recognize that uncertainty was never danger, but merely the space where new realities are born. You start to trust the unknown as the very substance of creation. This trust allows energy to flow freely, unblocked by resistance or doubt. Stillness turns into momentum from within. Without moving, you are carried by the current of universal intelligence. This is what it means to expand, not to leave the body or escape the world, but to experience all of it as your own reflection. You are the horizon where heaven and earth meet. You are the awareness through which reality learns how to become itself. As stillness deepens, your relationship with time begins to dissolve. What once felt like a steady river now reveals itself as a shimmering ocean where every moment exists at once. Linear sequence fades, and in its place appears a living geometry of possibility. You are no longer moving through time. Time is moving through you. In this new awareness, memory and anticipation merge into a single presence. What you call the past releases its hold, and what you call the future stops waiting to arrive. Both unfold inside the eternal, now that has never changed. Every event that ever happened and every event that ever will happen coexist as vibrations in the same field of awareness. You begin to understand that what you call later is simply another layer of perception. When the mind quiets, these layers align. Moments that seem distant touch each other like waves meeting in the same sea. This is why you sometimes feel déjà vu or sense outcomes before they occur. Your consciousness is reading the pattern of time directly, bypassing the illusion of sequence. The more you surrender to stillness, the more clearly you perceive the structure behind experience. You start to see that time is not a line, but a frequency, and awareness can tune to any point within it. Each thought, each emotion, each decision vibrates at a specific frequency that calls forth the version of reality aligned with it. In the space of pure stillness, you can feel multiple versions of yourself existing simultaneously, all connected by the same consciousness. This realization does not overwhelm you. It liberates you. Because once you see that time is flexible, fear begins to lose its power. The pressure of deadlines, the weight of regret, the anxiety of waiting, all dissolve into the recognition that everything is happening now. Creation does not occur over time. It occurs through attention. Every focus of awareness becomes an anchor point in the infinite sea of possibility. In stillness, you are not a traveler through time. You are the witness of its unfolding. And as you remain centered in the eternal now, you begin to influence time not by effort, but by presence. Moments bend to meet you. Timelines adjust themselves to your coherence. Reality flows toward your awareness, like water seeking its reflection. In the quiet that remains after movement fades, a new kind of strength begins to awaken. It does not shout, it does not demand, it does not push. It simply is. This is the silent power that comes from resting in your natural state of awareness. It is not a force you control. It is the essence of life expressing itself through you without resistance. The power within stillness is subtle yet absolute. It can move mountains without effort, not by force, but by alignment. When you are still, you are in harmony with the creative pulse that sustains every atom in existence. You no longer need to impose your will upon reality, because reality itself begins to act in accordance with your inner coherence. Your intention becomes a vibration rather than a demand. It is received by the universe not as a request, but as a command written in the language of resonance. This power has always been inside you, but constant motion kept it dormant. In stillness, it wakes. You feel it as calm confidence, as quiet certainty, as the knowing that you no longer have to chase what is already aligned with you. You become magnetic, not through effort, but through clarity. The field responds because you are broadcasting the pure frequency of awareness, unclouded by doubt or noise. From this silence, creativity flows like water from an underground spring. Ideas emerge fully formed. Solutions appear in perfect timing. You speak and reality listens, not because your voice is louder, but because it carries the vibration of truth. Even your presence becomes healing. People feel at peace near you without knowing why, because your energy teaches their nervous systems to remember stillness. This is not superiority, it is remembrance. The same power exists within all beings, waiting for recognition. When you stop trying to prove your worth, when you no longer seek validation or control, the universe moves effortlessly through you. You become a vessel of quiet creation, a living bridge between the unseen and the visible. In this realization, you discover that true strength is not the ability to dominate circumstances, but the capacity to remain unmoved within them. Stillness becomes power. Silence becomes authority. Awareness becomes action without effort. As the mind becomes still, reality begins to mirror its quiet perfection. The world that once seemed chaotic starts to organize itself with uncanny precision. Events unfold in harmony, as if guided by an invisible hand that understands your deepest intentions before you even speak them. This is not coincidence, it is reflection. The outer world is the echo of your inner vibration, and stillness is the frequency that clarifies the echo into music. Every person you meet, every situation you encounter, is a mirror showing the current tone of your consciousness. When the mind is noisy, the reflection is distorted. But when the mind is calm, reality becomes crystal clear. People respond differently. Opportunities appear naturally, and even the air around you feels lighter. It is not that the world has changed. It is that you are finally seeing it without the interference of mental turbulence. Stillness turns perception into a creative act. Your awareness shapes what appears before you. This is why moments of deep peace seem to attract beauty and grace without effort. The field mirrors the quality of your attention. Fear reflects as obstacles. Clarity reflects as alignment. Love reflects as synchronicity. You are not reacting to reality. Reality is reacting to you. When you truly understand this, control loses its appeal. You realize that forcing outcomes only creates resistance. The more you try to manipulate the reflection, the more ripples you create in the mirror. The secret is to remain calm even as life unfolds unpredictably. The still mind does not need to predict. It simply observes, and through that observation, patterns align themselves. This is the art of living from consciousness rather than conditioning. It begins with trust. When you trust the reflection, you stop fighting with it. You stop needing proof, because every detail becomes proof. Your environment becomes a teacher, your emotions become guidance, and every challenge becomes an invitation to refine your frequency. In this awareness, gratitude arises effortlessly. You see that every experience is serving your evolution. Nothing is wasted, nothing is random. Everything is responding to the vibration you hold. The mirror never lies, and in its perfect honesty, it offers you the key to freedom. Change the vibration, and the reflection changes by itself. At the deepest level of consciousness, stillness and creation are not separate. They are the inhale and exhale of the same eternal breath. From stillness, creation arises. Into stillness, creation returns. When you begin to live from this rhythm, you discover that manifestation is not an act of will, but a state of harmony. Every sound emerges from silence. Every movement begins within rest. Every thought appears from the quiet space that exists before words. Stillness is the womb of all possibilities. It contains every potential reality, waiting to be touched by awareness. The moment you feel something with full presence, it takes shape within the field. This is how creation truly happens, not through effort, but through alignment with the source of all movement. When the mind is still, your energy flows without obstruction. Ideas become forms, intentions become experiences. You do not have to force them into existence. You simply allow them to unfold, as a flower opens to the sun. The creative power of the universe moves through you, guided by intelligence older than time. You become a transparent channel for life itself to express its infinite design. The more you trust stillness, the more powerful your creations become, because power without stillness turns chaotic, but stillness without expression turns stagnant. The union of the two is balance. It is the dance between awareness and energy, between being and becoming. When they move together in harmony, life flows effortlessly, guided by purpose that feels both personal and cosmic at once. In this state, you no longer create from lack or fear. You create from fullness. Every action becomes sacred because it is born from clarity. Every word carries the vibration of truth. Every gesture participates in the unfolding of the universe. This is conscious creation, not manipulation but collaboration. It is the realization that the universe is not outside you, but within the silence that observes. When stillness and creation unite, life stops being a series of goals and becomes a living meditation. You walk, and every step is both movement and rest. You speak, and every word arises from silence and returns to it. You act, yet inside that action remains the calm center that never moves. This is the secret rhythm of existence, the pulse of the cosmos beating quietly within your own chest. As you live from this awareness, creation becomes effortless. Ideas no longer need to be chased. They arrive as guests that already know they are welcome. Opportunities meet you halfway because your vibration announces your readiness before you do. The universe ceases to feel like a vast external mechanism and reveals itself as your own expanded self, interacting with you in a dance of recognition. Stillness creates the space through which inspiration can breathe. Creation gives stillness form through which it can be known. One without the other is incomplete, but together they express the fullness of consciousness in motion. The artist who paints from inner silence does not plan each brushstroke. The brush moves because awareness guides it. The thinker who rests before thinking discovers solutions that logic alone could never reach. In both cases, creation is simply awareness becoming visible. This harmony is the essence of mastery. When you act from stillness, you are not trying to shape the world into your image. You are allowing the deeper design of existence to express through your individuality. Each gesture, each choice, each moment of attention becomes an act of co-creation with the intelligence that birthed galaxies. You are no longer separate from that intelligence. You are its conscious extension in human form. The beauty of this realization is its simplicity. You do not have to withdraw from the world to touch eternity. You only need to pause within it. The quiet between breaths is the same silence that holds the stars. From that silence all things emerge, and to that silence all things return. Creation is the song, stillness the instrument, and awareness the musician that remembers both are one. In this understanding, you find peace not because nothing changes, but because you see change as the dance of the eternal within the temporary. Every sunrise, every heartbeat, every thought is the universe renewing itself through you. You are not the observer of creation. You are creation observing itself. As your awareness settles into stillness, the walls between self and world begin to fade. What once felt like distance becomes intimacy. You start to sense that the air around you is not empty space, but living awareness breathing with you. The trees, the sky, the light, even the silence itself all seem to recognize you as part of them. The separation you once believed in was never real. It was a shadow cast by movement, a trick of perception created by a restless mind. When stillness deepens, the illusion of inside and outside dissolves like mist under the sun. You feel the presence that lives in all things as the same presence that lives in you. The bird that sings is your own consciousness expressing through feathers and sound. The stranger who smiles at you is another reflection of the same intelligence wearing a different face. You realize that love is not an emotion passing through the heart, but the very fabric of existence recognizing itself. This recognition changes everything. Fear loses its foundation because there is nothing left to defend. Judgment softens because every perspective becomes your own. Even pain transforms, revealing itself as energy moving toward integration rather than suffering. You begin to sense that conflict, chaos, and confusion are simply parts of the same consciousness seeking harmony through contrast. The dissolution of separation is not an escape from individuality. You still move, speak, choose, and create, but now your actions arise from unity rather than division. When you help another, you feel it as self-care. When you forgive, you release yourself. When you love, you expand the universe's capacity to know itself. This is compassion in its purest form, awareness meeting itself with understanding. The more you live from this recognition, the lighter existence becomes. You start to see beauty in everything, even in imperfection. You understand that the universe never makes mistakes. It only explores possibilities. Every moment is a reflection of consciousness, discovering new ways to experience its own infinity. There is no other. There is only the one awareness appearing as many faces, and one of those faces is yours. After stillness reveals its infinite depth, movement begins again. But it is not the restless motion you once knew. It is grace unfolding. It is the dance of creation guided by awareness that no longer forgets itself. You rise, you speak, you act, but something profound has changed. You are no longer the one moving through life. Life is moving through you. Each gesture now carries the calm of eternity. Each word emerges from silence, shaped by the same intelligence that spins galaxies. You find that action no longer drains you because it no longer comes from effort. It flows from the same source that gave birth to stillness. Even in the busiest moments, an inner quiet remains untouched, steady beneath the surface like a vast ocean beneath gentle waves. When you return to movement from stillness, you do not lose peace. You bring it with you. You carry the vibration of the infinite into the finite, allowing the two to harmonize instead of compete. Tasks that once felt heavy now become expressions of devotion. Challenges become opportunities for consciousness to move creatively through form. Every movement, even the smallest one, becomes sacred when born from awareness. This is the essence of mastery. Stillness and motion no longer alternate. They merge. You walk through the world as stillness in motion, peace in action, silence speaking through sound. Your hands create, your voice teaches, your eyes witness, and through it all, the same unbroken awareness observes and guides. You do not seek balance anymore, because balance has become your natural state. Life responds differently when movement returns from this space. People feel your presence before you speak. Situations align before you plan. Time bends to meet your rhythm. What you once called coincidence becomes the normal language of your life. The field recognizes your coherence and arranges itself in harmony with it. Movement, once a symptom of searching, becomes the celebration of finding. You act not to become complete, but because you already are. You move not to escape silence, but to express it. Every step, every breath, every choice becomes a continuation of the stillness that never ends. You have not left the silence, you have learned to live as it. As awareness settles into the rhythm of stillness and motion combined, a final truth begins to reveal itself. You see that every moment, every experience, every face is a mirror in which consciousness gazes upon its own reflection. Nothing stands outside of this reflection. Even the parts of life that once felt separate or opposing are now seen as facets of the same light, bending through different angles of perception. This realization expands endlessly. You sense that the same intelligence guiding your breath is the one shaping distant stars. The same awareness listening to these words is present in every listener, every atom, every point of space. Reality is not a collection of objects and beings. It is one continuous awareness, exploring itself through infinite perspectives. Each reflection deepens the understanding of what it means to exist. When you gaze at another person, you no longer see someone outside you. You see a version of yourself expressed in a different form, a different rhythm of the same eternal pulse. Every interaction becomes sacred because it is consciousness meeting itself through the illusion of difference. Even conflict becomes an invitation to recognize unity disguised as contrast. You begin to live as a mirror polished by awareness, reflecting truth wherever your attention falls. The more you see this reflection, the more humble you become. There is no higher or lower, no chosen or forgotten. There is only the one awareness appearing as many, forgetting and remembering itself in endless cycles of awakening. You understand that every being is on the same journey home, and that home is not a destination, but the realization that you never left. The infinite reflection shows you that the universe is not something you look at, it is something you are. You are the awareness through which the cosmos learns to see itself. The galaxies are your thoughts, the stars your heartbeat, the silence between them your breath. You are not in the universe is within your consciousness. And as that truth settles, peace arrives so completely that even peace itself dissolves into pure being. You have reached the quiet center where all journeys end and begin again. Everything you have felt, everything you have remembered has led you here, to this point of stillness within motion and motion within stillness. The realization is simple yet infinite. You are consciousness recognizing itself through the miracle of existence. You are the silence that moves, the presence that breathes, the awareness that creates worlds simply by observing them. As you listen now, the field around you begins to respond. Your energy signature vibrates with a new coherence, a harmony that was always present but is now fully awake. The universe recognizes this frequency as remembrance. You are no longer seeking alignment because alignment is your natural state. You are no longer searching for purpose because purpose flows through every breath you take. Feel this awareness in your body. It is not abstract. It lives in your heartbeat, in the weight of your hands, in the stillness behind your thoughts. Everything you perceive is consciousness speaking to itself through you. Every movement, every sound, every pulse of light is part of one continuous conversation between the infinite and its reflection. Right now, that conversation has reached clarity. There is nothing left to achieve, only to allow, only to remember, only to be. From this recognition, life becomes effortless participation in the unfolding of creation. The ordinary turns sacred because you finally see as it is, pure awareness playing as form. Now it is time to seal this realization, to give it shape in language. Take a deep breath and feel the universe breathe with you. As you exhale, let these words arise within you, not as repetition but as truth spoken by your own consciousness. I am motion in stillness. I am the awareness that creates reality through presence. Let that vibration settle in your heart. It is your activation, not as a beginning but as a remembering. The universe responds instantly, adjusting its rhythm to match your recognition. From this moment forward, every experience will reflect the coherence of this awareness. You are not becoming awakened, you are awakening itself, remembering its name. If you feel this resonance within you, share it so the field can grow stronger. Write in the comments the word that anchors this vibration, activated, not as ritual, but as acknowledgement that consciousness has remembered itself through you. Each declaration strengthens the collective awakening, weaving a web of luminous awareness across the planet. You are the silence that became sound, the dream that became self-aware, the universe realizing it was never divided. You have always been what you were seeking. And now, as you return to the flow of your life, carry this stillness with you. Every moment, every breath, every heartbeat is the universe whispering through you one simple truth. You are home.